Huawei App Gallery are back with 20% cashback on all your purchases up until the 20th of July. Your app region needs to be on Italy or Netherlands to take advantage of the cashback offer. Plus, claim your free €2 coupon to go towards any of your favorite Lords mobile packs. Also, you can get loyalty rewards, VIP coupons, and you can hang out with the community on the AppGallery Discord. All the links are in the description below, guys. If you're paying full price for your packs, you're doing it wrong. Save money with Huawei AppGallery. Now, let's get into the video. What's going on, guys? It's your boy Worthy Prince coming at ya with another Lords mobile video, and today, guys, I'm going to be talking about gears. That's right. Now, I streamed Lords mobile the other day, and during the stream I was requested to make some videos on free-to-play blast sets, like what would be the best kind of gear pieces to use if you wanted to make a spear set. So that would mean you're sending just infantry or range or cavalry at your target, and you're free to play in Lords Mobile. So that's exactly what we're going to do today. And today we're going to be starting off with infantry. Now, before we get into the actual gear pieces and what I think you should kind of focus on, I want to make something very clear, and I'm going to mention it in all three of these videos that I'm going to make. But when you're free to play in this game, before you even think about building a spear set, the first thing you want to do is build this set right here. Now, I've also got a video up on the channel, which is the best free-to-play mix set in Lords Mobile, and this is it right here. And the reason you want to build this set first is because this set here is going to be like a staple defense set. You know, you're not really going to be sending spear sets until you get a little bit higher up in levels. Most likely, you're going to be up at like level 60 before you send a spear march. I wouldn't recommend building any of the lower end gears to try and do a spear march, because, you know, you're just shooting yourself in the foot basically and hindering your progress that you're going to want to make later on. So the first thing you do, make this set here. This is the best free to play mix set you can build. Everything here is completely free to play. And it's really easy to make. Most of it is done through gathering. There's a few pieces there that require you to do a little bit of monster hunting, but overall it's pretty easy to build. So this is what I would definitely start off with when you first start playing. Build your mix set first. Later on, you can start switching pieces out as and when you make stronger pieces so you can defend more effectively. But most importantly, start off with this, okay? Now, let's just say you've done that and you're ready to start moving into the actual spear set itself. Now, one thing I would say is there has been a lot of different events that have come out in Lords Mobile, which they don't come out very frequently, but they do come on like a rotation. Things like the bargain store, which means you always should save your gems because there's ultra rares available in there. And also things like exchange extravaganza, plus guild first and other things. There's a lot of actual events in the game which give you access to getting ultra rares, especially exchange extravaganza. You can get quite a lot of ultra rares on that event. So my opinion on what you should focus on definitely has changed because of those events. You know, I would normally have just said go for something purely free to play, but with those extra events giving you access to the ultra rares, we can maybe put in a few more expensive pieces of gear into what you should focus on for your spears. So let's get into the workshop, and I'm going to just go through some gear pieces that you should build. We're going to start off with the helmet. Now, of course, you've built your mix set, so you're already going to be having the indulgent visage on your account, which is great, you know, and this is a good piece of gear. But when it comes to infantry, what you really want to do is go for a beast helm. Now, I do understand that this is like, you know, not the easiest thing to do free to play, and you might not even be able to get it to mythic or gold. But even if you get this thing to purple, which I think is absolutely doable with the events that come up right now in Lords, this is going to give you 19% infantry attack and then also almost 10% army HP. So comparing 19% and the HP to the indulgent visage, for example, even if you do get that to mythic, it's still higher infantry attack on the beast helm. So I would definitely try and focus on going for this, which means saving your bloodsuckers, because you're going to want to put every bloodsucker you get into building this beast helm, okay? And like I say, even at purple grade, it still outdoes the indulgent visage. I would go one step further and say even at blue grade, it's better. The same attack, but you get the extra HP as well. So I still think this is definitely the one to go for, even if you are going to be free to play. But that's why it's really important to not kind of use your bloodsuckers on anything else. When you're starting early game, you want to make sure you save and stock those up, and you will be saving those for months, but that's the way you're going to have to do it. If you're not prepared to grind for this gear, then you know you're going to have problems, because it certainly isn't going to be handed to you on a plate by IGG if you're free to play, for sure. That's definitely for sure. Okay, moving on to the chest piece. Now again, you might be tempted to build a winter parka. And all I can say about that is give it back to the Eskimos, because look, no, don't build a winter parka. If anything, you should be burning the winter parka. And again, looking down, you might say to yourself, well, you know, I've got the skeletal armor in my mix set. I can use that. That's 10% attack. Or maybe I want to go and build this spooky coat. That's another big mistake. Don't do that. No, what you want to do instead, guys, is like the beast helm, you want to go for, I would say, the firewall plate. Because, I mean, even at purple grade, this is going to be really good at 13% infantry attack, plus you've got the army HP on there as well. Plus, not only will you be using this and the beast helm actually for your infantry blast, you can also double it up and use it in your mix set as well. So it's going to be a really useful piece of gear. It does use the blueprints, and you do need a few of them. You need 8, but like I say, with these events that come around, it's definitely something that's doable. The Terror Shield is the best in slot, but I just think this is a bit unrealistic for a free-to-play player to be going for a Terror Shield, to be honest. I mean, it has got better stats. I mean, even at blue grade, this thing is still more powerful than a firewall plate. And if you did get this at blue grade, it would mean that you wouldn't have to worry about redueling, because you could use your firewall plate in your mix set at blue. And then you could use the Terror Shield in your infantry blast at blue. So it definitely is an option. It's just that getting this past blue grade up to the purple and gold is going to be one heck of a grind. But like I say, if you're prepared for that grind, you could definitely go ahead and do that. But I personally would hold off from that for a free-to-play player. I would go for the firewall plate and double that up with my infantry blast and my mix. Going into the legs, there's a few different options for the legs. When you scroll down here, you can see the options. Don't be tempted to build things like corrupted boots or desert trousers or any of this stuff. You don't want none of this in your gear. Like, Steps of Reckoning actually isn't too bad, to be honest with you. It's got infantry HP, it's got infantry attack, but it does require 2 of the tomes. Not the easiest thing to get. They don't really come up in events. The only way to get it is to monster hunt, and the drops are pretty low. And I know it's very difficult for free-to-play players to have an absolute bunch of energy to go hunting for these things. So I'm going to say, even though that's actually would be really nice for a free-to-play to have this, I actually would say hold off from Steps of Reckoning. And instead, I'm going to say go for the Dragon's Talon. Now, Dragon's Talon, again, the black wing eyes, these things here, glowing eyes, they come up in events, they come up in bargain stores, exchange extravaganzas. They're not the hardest thing to pick up. Yes, you do need a few of them. You do need 8 per level, which is quite a lot of eyes. But again, if you look at these at blue grade, they're offering 9.4%, which is pretty good. And if you're able to get them to purple, which I think for a free-to-play is definitely doable, 13% infantry attack, 9.5% army HP. And as you can see, they're actually really, really good. I mean, still, the Steps of Reckoning actually have less attack at purple. So this is the one to go for. And again, not only are you able to use these for your infantry blast, but that you can also double them up and use them in your mixed as well. Just make sure that they are higher stats before you switch them out, because if you're following my guide on best free-to-play mix set, you should be using the honeycomb chaps, and believe it or not, those are actually pretty good at mythic grade. So you need to make sure that they are better than the chaps before you switch them out. Okay, but Dragon's Talon, absolutely the one to go for your infantry. Again, save your glowing eyes. So we've done the left hand side of the gear, and I'm going to just switch it out so I can show you guys. So as you can see, for the infantry main helm we haven't talked about. Helmet, we said go for beast helm. Now I know mine's mythic, just ignore that obviously, but just so I can see the pieces we've covered. And then we're going to go firewall plate for the chest piece. and then talons for the legs. And I know it's not all going to be mythic for a free to play. It's going to be blue, it's going to be purple, but they're definitely going to give you more stats than the other lower, cheaper options that are available. Let's go and talk about main hands, because main hand is also a really important one for infantry blast, and actually for a free to play is where you're going to pick up a lot of your stats from. So looking at the main hand, there are some options for you to go for. There's some lots of different things for infantry. Frostwing Greatsword is an overall good choice because it's cheap. It only requires a few hearts, and generally speaking, they're pretty easy to get hold of. And it also means that you're not using blueprints or anything else. You're using one separate thing. So we'll put the Frostwing Greatsword into our pocket at the moment for infantry. Going down though, there are some other dedicated options which you can look at. First one, Terra Lash. This is definitely, I think, possibly doable for a free to play because it only requires 2 of the seeds. And again, these seeds do come up in events, just not as often as some of the other ultra rares. Only 2 required. At purple grade, it's going to offer 18% infantry attack, which actually isn't as good as the Frostwing Greatsword as gold, but obviously there are some benefits to it. Yes, it's 2% lower, but if you were to build this, you could dual this for infantry, and then you could build, say, the Frostwing Sword for the mix set, and dual that for mix, so you'd have 3 attack duals in, so you haven't got to keep switching duals. As a rally lead, I know that switching duals is a real pain, and the last thing a free-to-play player wants to be doing is switching duals constantly because they've only built one piece of gear for their main hand, and also for their spear, and also for their mix. So you could actually have this purely dualed for your infantry, and I think a Terra Lash would work out really well for you, even at purple grade. The other option you can look at is the Malicious Saw. Now, the issue with this is the fact that it requires 2 of the blueprints, and you already have a firewall plate that you're working on, which also requires blueprints. So it definitely will make things more difficult if you go for this. At purple grade, 16%. So just again, looking at the stats between the Terra Lash and that, you can see the Terra Lash is a couple of percent higher. Although the Malicious Sword does also have infantry defense at 9.5. There you go, 9.5. And the Terra Lash comes in with 6%. Although defense, I mean, it's not really a stat you want to really be heavily focusing on. Personally, I would say go Terra Lash. Save the blueprints for the firewall plate and go for that Terra Lash. Even if you get it up to purple grade, you're looking at a real nice stat boost on your infantry blast. So again, we'll go back to our set here and we'll switch out for the Terra Lash. There it is. Okay, beautiful. So that's looking really good on that left-hand side. Now we need to move over to the right-hand side and we need to look at the offhand. Now, offhand for infantry, again, there is a bunch of different options that you can choose from. Some more expensive than others, some more difficult than others. But for your infantry set, what I would suggest is going for the Dark Aegis. Again, the Viral Switchblade is good, but again, it's using blueprints. We want to save those for the firewall plate. The Call of the Deep is also a very popular one because it has not only infantry attack, but it also has infantry HP as well. It does require pearls, and 2 of them, and pearls, they are a pain in the butt. But again, they do come up in events, so you could go ahead and have a crack at getting this Call of the Deep done. At purple grade, it's really good. I use purple as an example because purple, generally speaking, isn't too difficult to get to. It's getting above purple that's quite hard to achieve. But this is actually pretty good. Good infantry HP, good infantry attack. It's a really nice piece of gear for an infantry blast. But personally, I like the Dark Aegis. Dark Aegis uses brains. It only uses 1 brain. So this is really doable for a free-to-play player. I think getting this to gold is really, really doable. And you can see you're getting infantry attack and you're getting army attack as well. So it's going to be doubling up to 20%. That's 20% extra attack for your infantry blast if you're able to get this to gold grade. And like I say, 1 brain for free to play with the events and stuff they have in Lords Mobile nowadays, very, very doable indeed. So there you go. That's the one I would go for the infantry offhand. So we'll go ahead and switch that out as well. I believe I've got a Dark Aegis. There we go. Because I used it as well at one point when I was working my account. And then we get to the accessories. Okay. Now, let's just take a look at this. Now, the Terra Lash was something I said go for the main hand. And that kind of leaves us more restricted now on the accessories, because the most popular accessory for an infantry blast is a Terror Vial, because it offers really good infantry attack and it's only 1 seed per level. So I would still say maybe try and build one of these. Like I say, the Terror Lash is only going to be a couple of seeds, and this is only 1 seed per, per vial. Ideally, you'd want 3, but I don't want to put too much pressure on you guys that are free to play out there. There are some other options that you can look at, but not too many. I mean, you've already got a Lost Island Relic, but that's going to be already jeweled for your mixed accessory. And then going up further, this end of the table, you don't want to go nowhere near that end of the table because it's all super expensive. You can look at the secret totems. They do offer a little bit, but it's not great. They do offer a good amount of infantry HP, but again, it's blueprints, and blueprints are something you're going to want for your firewall chestplate. So what I would suggest doing is just using a couple of your free-to-play accessories you've already got built. So use your Lost Island Relic, utilize your Aqua Anemone, and slow roll, well, everything's slow roll with free-to-play, to be honest, but grind out those Terror Vials. Even if you get 3 Terror Vials at purple, that's going to be absolutely fantastic. 10% infantry attack, 2.5% infantry max HP. I would grind 3 of those out at purple grade. Get 1 to purple. As soon as it's purple, go and start building another one and get that to purple. So you end up with 3 purple Terror Vials across your infantry set. That way you can duel them for pure infantry, and you don't have to worry about switching out your duels when it comes to taking a defense, because your mixed gear will already be dueled for it. The only pieces of gear which you're going to be potentially moving a couple of duels around if you're taking a defense is going to be the helmet, the chest piece, and the legs. And I've done that on purpose because I want to try and reduce it. I don't want to put a full set of gear in here that's going to all require redueling. Like, for example, if I use this, for example, that would be another piece of gear you'd have to reduel for a mixed defense. So that's why I'm saying go for a Terror Lash, because it reduces that redueling aspect between the infantry set and the mixed set. So by the time you've finished your mixed set, it won't be mythic. I mean, it might be in the future at some point, but what we can do here is just put the last 3 Terror Vials in, and there you go. That's what your infantry blast set is going to look like. Maybe not that color, like I say, but if you can get it, for the most part purple, maybe a couple of blues here and there, like maybe your Beast Helm's blue, maybe your Talons are blue, you got a couple of purple vials and a blue vial, a gold Aegis and a purple Terror Lash. I mean, you're well on your way. Once you've got that fully redueled for infantry, it's going to hit really nice. A good amount of HP throughout the set and a really nice amount of attack. Obviously, Lords Mobile is very, very difficult to build any kind of set, because when you're free to play, it's a big grind. There are some huge paywalls in Lords Mobile to climb over, and IGG don't make it easy for you to get this stuff. So don't go into this with your eyes blind. Don't think that it's going to be an easy run and you're going to have fun building this gear up, because it won't be fun. It'll be blood, sweat, and tears, and stressful. And there's going to be times where you're going to want to take shortcuts and just build something for the sake of building it. But stick to your guns. Store up your ultra rares. Don't worry about the fact you can't do anything straight away. Save your items and build the correct items. Don't just go and build the wrong ones. An infantry set like this, free to play in the grades that I've said, will certainly see you right. Okay, so that's basically the gear I would build. Something else that I was asked to mention as well is the battalion. If I go to the battalion and show you this, I call my infantry Perseus, and I've already set it up for you to show you what the perfect battalion would look like for a free-to-play player. So if I click here, you can see I've only gone to 3 familiars, okay, because I thought 4 familiar slots was a bit unrealistic for a free-to-play player, especially in the first few months, because there's so much research you have to do, right? These are the heroes I would go for. I would go for Rose Knight as your leader always, because she has good army attack, and so she can sit as the 5th hero and give your infantry that boost. And then you're going to want to go for Demon Slayer and Oathkeeper, because they both have infantry attack and infantry HP on their stats. And then ideally you would have 2 more infantry heroes with HP and attack. Unfortunately, they are both pay-to-play heroes in the form of Twilight Priestess and Grimwolf, for example. So you have to substitute those for ones that just have attack. Make sure the infantry heroes you use have attack. So we've got Sea Squire and we've got Soul Forger, because both of those heroes have 30% infantry attack. Okay, and then going into the familiars, you can see we have Gem Gremlin. You know, pack 3 is the highest I've gone to here. Gem Gremlin for the stacking of infantry, an extra percentage of infantry attack from the dwarf, and then Tempestite is a really good one because he's going to go ahead and stun the largest squad on the enemy team during the fight. So it's a pretty good one to go for your third. Now there is another one you can go for on the familiars, and I need to bring it up because it is also a pretty good one for infantry, and that is The Last Dance. I don't have this unlocked because I don't need it on my account, but this one's really good because it means your infantry HP is going to boost for 80% for 10 seconds when 10% of your march has died. So this will really give the remaining 90% of troops you have a huge boost. So if you don't want to do Tempestite, you can do Last Dance, and that'll be a really good one to go for. Just going back into the battalion again, just showing you how you would normally set this up. You would put a 50% size boost on before you do this, so you could save the correct amount of troops. But just to show you how this would work, I'll do it with tier 4. You can see here, you would go ahead and go to your range and just put some buffer troops in first of all. So I would put like 4 range, 4 cav, go down to your siege. You can do tier 4 siege, you could do tier 3 siege. I'll do tier 3 because they walk a little bit slower. I do 500. You could do less. You can actually do as little as 5 if you want to. But I like to always put about 500 siege in my march. That's just my personal preference. And then go up to your infantry and push it all the way to the end. And that there is going to be your infantry march. You click on save and you're ready to rock and roll to send your infantry march in. And that's basically how you do the battalion. Now, the last thing I'm going to show you is how to do the skills, because again, some of you like to know this and ask how you do this. So basically, I'm going to show you how you would set up your talents for an infantry blast. You might have less points than me. I've got 288 because I've done the hidden talent research, but I'll just show you what you need to do. Go ahead, click squad offense 1. This army attack's vital. We're going to max that out. And then we're going to go down and just unlock everything in this list, okay? Don't max anything out. Just run down the list and unblock everything all the way down to the bottom, okay? There we go, making our way down. And here comes the last one. There it is. Okay. And then we're going to go back up. And we're going to, as we go back up, we're going to max out every single infantry one we come across. Infantry 3, infantry 2. We're going to go to infantry 1. There it is. And then keep going all the way. Okay, we're at the top. Now go back down. And now we're going to max out everything with health. So squad health 1. Thank you. Go down a bit further. We've got squad health 2. There it is. Okay, now with the remaining points you have left, put it all into defense. So we're going to go squad defense. There we go. We're going to go further up to squad defense 1. There it is. I think there's a squad defense 2 I missed. Where is it? Oh no, that is squad defense 2. Okay, great. Okay, cool. So I've got 42 points left. You might have a little bit less than that. It doesn't really matter where you put those. I normally just whack it into siege. Because at the end of the day, siege is going to be in my march at the back, 500 of them, you know, maybe give them a little bit more attack, right? Give the siege some love. And that's basically how you do that. You can go ahead and you can save that in your innate talents, so you don't have to do it like this every single time. Just press one button and it will switch over. Of course, IGG will relieve you of a few gems every time you do that though. Okay, and that's basically how you set it all up. You've got your stats are set, you've got your battalions all set, your gear is on, you're ready to rock and roll and have fun sending those infantry blasts. Just be very careful what you're sending at. Make sure you don't overextend yourselves. And most importantly, the thing to get out of this video is to be patient with your build, because like I say, a lot of people get impatient, start building things they shouldn't be building. It's much better to stay shielded or, you know, and chill under your bubble and work on your gear slowly than it is to build the wrong gear, come under your shield and get absolutely annihilated, whether you're attacking or defending. Anyway, I hope you found this video informative. Again, this was something that was requested. It wasn't something I was planning on doing, but if you really enjoyed this video on the infantry, free-to-play infantry stuff, then please do me a favor and show me you loved it by absolutely destroying that like button. If we get over 200 likes on this video, I'll make sure I get the range and the cavalry free-to-play videos just like this made very, very quickly and put up onto the channel. Let me know down in the comments what you think. Let me know if what I suggested is something you're already building, or maybe you've got a better suggestion. Let us know down in the comments. If you haven't already subscribed, make sure you do that as well. And guys, I'll catch you in the next one. But until then, you know how this next bit's going to go. Stay safe. And of course, peace out.